Chris, congratulations,
Thank
first
you.
of all. Was qualification your minimum target, and if so, why?
Of course, we were when we looked at the 3 games that were in front of us. I think we have to be honest and say if we got a game plan right, and if we were at our maximum, then from the 3 games, could we get 4 points that will probably see us through? I think it wouldn't have been presumptuous of us to think that that was possible. Still, when you're involved in the games, getting 3 points is easier said than done. It's difficult. We always believed we had a chance, when we believed in ourselves. The biggest challenge for us in the 3 games wasn't the second game. It was the aftermath of the second game and putting ourselves back together and getting refocused and remembering why we're here. It wasn't for 1 game, it was for the 3 games and to get enough points, So that was the biggest challenge for us. But we did that. The players were absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Completely put that out of their mind straight after it. Went back to work, worked hard, refocused, and just kept their heads on a swivel, ready for the Russia challenge, and that's why we got the results. So I think that in the fashion in which we got the third game and the result out of the way, I think was particularly pleasing. So it was great to top the group, fantastic. It was just, not because I think people think because England were in our group, and we've topped the group, we've come above England. That's not what it was about at all for me. It was about getting through to the last 16. And as important as that is, for me as well, was also the performance of this team in that last game was what we're looking for and what we believe. That's how we believe we should play, how we can play. So that was very important. And it was it was a great night, a great experience.
What confidence, what hopes has the performance as well as the result against Russia and the fact that you've topped the group and the side of the draw that you go, what confidence, what hopes do you have today which maybe you didn't have before the Russia game?
If I'm honest with you, I don't feel different in terms of my belief in the team. I don't. Equally, I don't think the next game is going to be any easier. Even if we just scrape through with a 1-0 win and not played so well, I know what the players are capable of. I know the way we need to play. I know their capabilities. I also know how dangerous football can be, and I know you never ever think you've arrived. You've never arrived in football. You just haven't. I don't care how well you play, how many games you win back to back. Football is a cruel game. So once you start thinking that you're something, and you're untouchable, and you only need to walk on the pitch, and everything gets taken care of, you're in dangerous ground then. So no. It was Russia was brilliant. We'll always remember Russia. We'll always remember that performance. It'll go down in history. But it's this next one. Now, whoever it is, doesn't matter who it is. I've said that before. We've just got ourselves to the knockout stages, so it's all on the day. There's no afters after it. There's no second bites of the cherry. We've got to bring it on that day. How we do it, we do it. So it doesn't matter who comes out of the hat. It's going to be a tough game. We make sure we do what we did before Russia, and that's put everything into it. Realizing how good we are, and then being able to accept that responsibility and take it onto the pitch. We did it against Russia, and we need to reproduce that.
In terms of picking up on your question there, okay, what are fatigue levels like? Another unknown territory, and also, just an update maybe on Joe Ledley. You had to substitute him again during Russia. Just an update on him and injuries and fatigue levels as well.
Yeah, I think they were all. Sam Vokes after 70 minutes, I was nearly going to make a change with Big Sam because he was cramping, but then he got a second wind. We knew Joe Led probably wouldn't finish the 90, but nevertheless, he's covered incredible ground in the minutes he was on the pitch. All the guys, when we look at the stats, have all taken it a stage further in the physical output of the game. Some of the stats are incredible. You know, Ramsey, unbelievable. Chris Gunter the same. A lot of the lads really pushed the boat out, and sometimes that can have an after effect. But I think because of what's at stake, just running a lot of the time on pure emotion, you know, and that gets you across the line when it's positive. So Joe's okay. Squad was a bit tight in the second half, so we felt at that time when we made the change that, you know, we'd had the game by the scruff of the neck, so there was no need to take the risk. All the guys are okay. They'll all be looking to play some part again, obviously, at the weekend, but there's no big dramas.
Saturday night in Paris. How are you going to watch tonight's games when you find the peculiarities of this Euros? You don't know your opponent yet. How are you going to be watching? Do you care who you get?
No, I think people look at it and go, well, it'll be good if we get this team or we got that team, because, you know, they're ranked here or there, and actually it won't matter because it'll be on the day. And we've seen in football, sometimes the underdog takes it. You know, the underdog gets it right and the favoured team don't. So, no, I mean, I hope the Republic do it. You know, I hope they get through. So we'll be supporting them. Hope they do it. Brilliant for congratulations to Michael O'Neill. Marvellous job he's done there. So, you know, who we get. Again, and that's not being disrespectful or arrogant, because we can't afford to look at it like that. We don't. What we can do is concentrate on ourselves. And again, we're enjoying it. We're enjoying every minute of it. We've worked so hard to be here. So what's not to enjoy? Especially when you're working as hard as what we are and the players are, and you know, that's when you enjoy it. And so things are good, things are positive, and we know we've got a huge challenge ahead. Whoever comes out of the hat, another massive challenge at the weekend.
One of your possibilities you could get is Northern Ireland. Would you prefer not to have another sort of British derby type game? Would you prefer a continental side?
Do you know what? For us in the stage we are, if we get Northern Ireland, if it's Northern Ireland, it's Northern Ireland. Whoever it is, I think certain things we can learn from the game against England, being a British derby. But if it's Northern Ireland, it's Northern Ireland. It'll be a great game. Two good teams. Two teams who have done very well to get as far as they have. And like I said, it'll be whoever gets it right on the day, you know. So I can't say no. If it's Northern Ireland, then that's how it works.
Chris, the potential passage, though, through the tournament, it looks as if it's opening up quite nicely for Wales, because the likes of Germany, England, Spain, all these kind of big nations are in the other half of the draw. So you must see this as a great opportunity, potentially, to go much further in the tournament.
I'll tell you how I look at it, and I'll make sure the players look at it the same way, and my staff is, we'll be looking at a pathway through the first 45 minutes in this next challenge. And how do we find our way through that? And then when we get in at half time, we look at another pathway through the second 45 minutes. If it goes to extra time, penalties, whatever it is. Beyond that, I promise you, I'm not looking at to say we could play this one or that one. You know, we've got to make sure our feet are firmly on the ground here. Not talking about, everybody's on about this possibility, that possibility. Everything's possible in football. I know that, I've seen it before. And everything's possible at, like I said earlier, 1 minute, you're right there and everything's great. And the next minute, you've taken your eye off the ball and everything's fallen down. So whoever it is down the line, for whoever gets through the last 16, that's when you get on with it. What I do know is at this level, you've got to take care of the business in front of you. So there's no talk in my camp about who could be next after the 16s. The 16 rounds finish is absolutely nowhere, and I wouldn't allow that, because there's not a team in this tournament that could think like that. Even if Germany or Spain, we've seen the games are so tight. Most of the games are so tight. So we're only concentrating, once we find out our fate on who's next, that's what we focus on, and we put everything we've got into that challenge.
Just to pick up on what you were saying about who you may play, I mean, would you in a sense prefer to play Turkey, do you think, than Northern Ireland?
I'd be lying to you if I said this would be better for us or this one would suit us. There's dangers and challenges in any fixture we get, just the same as the first 3 games, and the next one's going to be no different. There'll be, you look at it, there'll be weaknesses of the opposition and there'll be strengths, just as they will look at us. So honestly, whoever it is, it is.
And as you say, you know, uncharted territory for Wales, and the possibility that, you know, if the scores are level, you might come to penalties. Will you practice penalties? And if so, will you have a 5 in mind to take penalties?
The guys, I would say 3 days out of 5 naturally just gravitate after training, and they'll take penalties. So we've never been there. If it comes to that, again, it's new territory for us. So, and as we've seen, we could have practiced every day penalties and the guys wouldn't miss. You can't, how do you recreate 50,000 people breathing down your neck? All the eyes of the world are on you and you're stepping up to take a penalty and you need to put it in the back of the net, or the keeper needs to save it. It's hard to recreate that. So once that comes our way, it comes our way, and we'll have to try and deal with it.
And obviously the pressure's on the squad. I think 8 of the 11 have played in every game so far. So in terms of recovery, what kind of state are they in, and would you be minded to make changes on Saturday?
I'd make changes if I think physically they can't do it. I'd be surprised if any of them admit to me that they're a bit tired and maybe they don't want to start. They're tough, which is a good thing for me, it's a good thing for us. You know, the guys who haven't been on the grass or haven't been starting, you know, they're chomping at the bit, and they're not very happy that they haven't been on the grass, and I like that. I think that's a positive. But I can only pick 11, and 11's changed. You know, the personnel, I look at the opposition, and I think if we can create maybe 1 or 2 problems with a different player in a different place, it doesn't mean that the player who's been replaced in the last game hasn't done very well. It's just, it's horses for courses in the position we're in, and if I think we can cause a bit of problems with it, 1 change or 2 changes. Like I've said before, we haven't changed the formation, we've changed 1 or 2 faces. You know, I'll do that in the next game. It'll depend on who comes out of the hat, but our guys are, you know, they're loving every minute of this, and they deserve to. They deserve all the accolades they've got. They deserve it. They deserve to enjoy it, and they know what's coming next. Another massive challenge, but again, no fear. There's no fear with us. Our biggest fear is that we don't fulfill our potential, and we don't stick to our game plan. That's the only fear that we have, and that's a healthy one.
Well, it's interesting you say that, fulfilling potential. I mean, do you regard anything now as a bonus, or do you feel now that this squad has the potential and deserves to go further than the last 16?
Well, I think all we can do is, like I said, is concentrate on ourselves. We can't get too carried away with whether we deserve this, that, or the other. We've just got to make sure we keep our head in the right direction. Look, we're all looking in the same direction. We maintain our focus. Focus is always on the preparation, always on performance. Because, I'll say it again, you're not guaranteed to get a result just because you play well. But you have to concentrate on your performance. And generally good things come with that. Rarely happens the other way, where you're always looking at the result, always looking at a win, come what may, regardless of how you play. That's a risky way to go. You have to concentrate on your performance individually, collectively, what the core values are of the team. Stick to that. That's all we've done. You know, in the main, that's all we've done, and that's all we can do. The result takes care of itself normally, and I mean, sometimes we get carried away with the result. It's all about results. We know that, but for us to get a good result, we need to perform well, and we need to focus on our performance.
We'll just take a couple of more questions. Howell, and then the gentleman at the back. Thank you.
Given you don't know and won't know till later exactly who you face, how do you actually prepare? How much do you scout at the possibilities? Northern Ireland, you had in a friendly, you know them well. Turkey not played for 19 years. How much homework has been going on ahead of the final fixture list tonight?
Again, we'll look at what we've been doing in games. Take all the good bits. Focus on that. Focus on the strengths, because we've been doing a lot of things very, very well. We must maintain that. And until we know who the opposition are, like you say, that's when we can plan. We'll know our fate by this evening. And then we'll start looking at who they are, what they're all about, how we can hurt them. But like we've always done, really, we focus mainly on ourselves.
After the England game, you all went out for burgers and chips. Seemed to work quite well. Any plans for more burgers and chips ahead of Paris?
No, I think after the England game, it wasn't planned to have burgers and chips, as you put it there. That was available if they wanted it. We went to a lovely restaurant. Just a change from the everyday scene that we faced. You know, we're staying in a fantastic hotel in Dinard. The support we've had from the local people in Dinard is incredible. And Mary Claire, the lady who runs the hotel, has been absolutely fantastic with us. Can't do enough for us. Brilliant. But we just wanted a bit of a change of scenery. So we went just down by the seafront. We had some food and a couple of cups of coffee and just to relax, you know. And we needed to get away from the game the day before as much as we could. But yeah, I think the boys, if they want to have a pop out, they can pop out for a coffee somewhere if they like. You know, we haven't got them in handcuffs and chained to the hotel bedroom. And they've done that. They've got out and about when they wanted to, when we've had time to do that, because it's not just the physical, it's the mental is probably worse, actually. You know, it's the mental doing the same thing. It becomes mundane, and we've got to be careful of that. But at the minute, they're full of excitement, as you would expect. And they're looking forward to the weekend.